this a step in the right direction or a needless break from tradition? Francine, what do you think?
I think, does it really matter? Like, I just think all these things now we're so concerned about, and it's just ridiculous. I'm assuming it's because tennis was a very male-dominated sport years ago. So, you know, it was mainly men's names on the board. And then when the ladies came in, it became, you know, Miss... but you know what? I just think whatever floats your boat. It wouldn't bother me whether it's just my name or if they put Mrs. or Miss or Ms. if you want to be called whatever. But you know what? If it makes a difference to women, they prefer that, then great. But I just don't
I think it is a very old-fashioned thing, isn't it? So I used to be a Miss, I got married, and I didn't become a Mrs. So I got married, well, I'm divorced now, so luckily I never became a Mrs. because it would have been awkward right now. I made the right decision in retrospect because I had to become Ms. MS. It's not satisfactory. It's a ridiculous word that doesn't have a vowel in it. But it was important to me because I wasn't taking my husband's surname. I didn't want to be Mrs. Turner because that didn't make any sense. I didn't think it was right that I had to betray my marital status when men didn't. You ever thought about this before, Ali?
No, not to the degree you have.
Are you married?
No.
Have you ever been married?
No, I haven't been married, but I think marriage is a wonderful institution.
You see, but I would never know that about you if you wrote your name down, whereas you would know it about me.
Indeed, and look, I think it's up to women if they want to be known as Mrs. or if they want to keep their maiden name, as was the case with my mother. She kept her maiden name. She's a doctor. She wanted for her profession. She did. So it's a personal choice. But on the Wimbledon thing, I'd like to know if any woman has come forward with this as a major issue. I mean, look, we've got war in Ukraine, people leaving the Azov-style steelworks, we've got inflation at 9%, we've got a cost of living crisis, and we're talking about the use of Miss or Mrs. at Wimbledon.
I
mean, really,
ridiculous.
honestly.
Tim Henman, much as I love him, cannot solve all those other problems. So Wimbledon have to deal with the issues in front of them.
But look, the other thing is, look, I don't know if it's been raised, if it's genuinely been raised as an issue that certain women are taking umbrage at this thing. Fine, let's discuss it. I don't know what the offence could be, but fair enough, happy to hear it. But look, Wimbledon is meant to be the Rolls-Royce competition in the world. It's the one that everyone wants to win. They dress properly, they wear whites, they even have their bags carried on to them in the final, right? Are we going to stop that too now? These are all the touches that make Wimbledon special. I don't see a problem with it, but I'm not a woman. I don't know.
Well,
if there is a problem, then let's hear it.
All right, so is there a better solution, Peter? Maybe the solution is that men have to declare on their title whether they are married or single. And when I say that, it sounds so ridiculous, but that's what we have to do. And people judge you based on that.
Well, there are lots of judgments that go unspoken in society, sadly, and always will be. But going back to the tennis, I think, you know, I believe in equality. So you either have the titles of men and women, and neither. I think there's equal prize money, which is great.
No, hang on a second. I disagree with that.
Could women also play 5 sets?
I disagree with that.
Best of 5 sets.
You mean there shouldn't be equal prize money?
I don't think there should be equal prize money. I don't think it should be equal pay. It should be based on the fact of what brings the biggest audience. And the fact is, men play 5 sets, women play 3. That's not a sexist comment. It's just a fact.
But they're not getting paid by the hour, though. Like,
exactly, they're still the best tennis players in the world.
It's ratings. So are we saying that female footballers should be played the same as male footballers? Of course they shouldn't. It's about ratings.
No, but that, I think, is a different conversation because that's market forces.
No, but so is tennis. It's viewing figures.
But viewing figures of women's, I don't know, the viewing figures of women's Wimbledon final.
I would love to know what the viewing figures are for the men's final versus the women's final.
Ali, I think your analogy doesn't quite stack up because in tennis, we're talking about prize money.
And what about the number of sets they play?
Ali, give me a sec. In tennis, talking about prize money from the championships, or in football, there's also their golfing salaries, but that comes from TV and sponsorship income, not prize money from the Premier League.
Remember, we've got Raducanu this year, right? If she's not good, if she can't shift tennis kit, no one can because she's amazing.
Yeah.
And she's just fallen out of the second round of the Roland Garros. I mean, I'm a big fan of Emma Raducanu, but let's get real here. She had a great run in the US Open, right? But, you know, I mean, Emma Raducanu is not Novak Djokovic at the moment. I hope she becomes Novak Djokovic.
She's only new to this.
Of course
she's
she
a teenager.
is. Of course she is. Of course she is. Point I'm making is that this is driven off ratings, right? That is what it's driven off.
Look, we've got young British, gorgeous young female player. Yeah. I reckon she'll draw.
I hope she does, and I was rooting for her when she won the US Open. We all were. It was fantastic. But she doesn't need advice from me, but I hope she continues to develop her career on tennis. Everything else
you
will
know what?
follow.
And won't it be ridiculous that if she wins Wimbledon, they will go to etch her name in the board and say, oh, is she married or is she single? Because that means we've got to denote.
But if they call her Miss Emma
I think
Raducanu,
it's
so what?
probably a
What's
good
the
idea.
issue? What's the issue with that? Why are we making issues where... Is this really an issue?
No, I don't think there is, but you have made a really good point. I've never looked at it like that. Men are always just Mr.
Yeah.
And you're right, some people could judge it.
Of course they do.
know whether you're married or single.
Yeah.
And it actually,
Yeah.
never thought of it like that.
Good. Well done,
And now I
Francine.
think...
Come again.
I
I'm
think
here a
you're
lot.
right.
Honestly. They're sticking me on any time now. They've got a spare show. What's Bev Turner doing? Oh, she'll do it. She's cheap.